Sometimes the most powerful stories aren't these big, epic tales. They're the small ones, the ones you find tucked away in a personal letter. Today, we're going to dive into one of those stories, all about one man, his community, and the incredible legacy he left behind, centered on, of all things, an X-ray machine.
So let's just jump right into the middle of the action. You've got this man, Mian Chonu, and he's in a world of pain. He's desperately trying to work a machine he has no clue how to use. The letter says his condition was extremely pitiful. I mean, you can just feel the desperation, right? He's completely at a loss.
And that feeling of helplessness is just awful. Imagine you're hurt, you know there's only one person who can help, but they're not available. What do you do? Where do you go? For the people in this neighborhood, this was a real crisis. Who could they possibly turn to? Well, here's the thing. For this community, there was never any question. The answer was always the same. There was one guy, one person that everyone knew they could count on, especially when things got bad.
And this is him. This is the man we're talking about, Haji Shahab uddin. The only reason we even know his story is because of this letter right here, written by a man named Asif Ali Khan, who saw the whole thing unfold. This single document is our only window into the life of this quiet neighborhood hero.
So who was he? Well, Haji Shahab uddin wasn't just some technician. He was known as the local limb setter. And his X-ray machine? Well, that machine was everything. It was the heart and soul of his shop, a genuine lifeline for everyone who lived there. I mean, his shop was more than just a place of business. It was a landmark. People knew it. His work literally brought prosperity and a good name to the area. He was greeted with this incredible respect wherever he went, all because of his skill, his dedication, and of course, that X-ray machine, which was basically his life's work.
But, time gets to all of us. And now Haji Shahab uddin is old. He's frail. The hands that had fixed so many people for so long just can't work the machine anymore. It really looked like his life's work had ground to a halt.
And this is where the story gets really, really human. When Mian Chinu first shows up, Shahab uddin, in a moment of weakness, actually turns him away over money. But almost immediately, regret just washes over him. He tries to get up to operate the machine himself, but he's just too weak. It's this powerful, painful struggle between what his conscience is telling him to do and what his body will let him do. But in the end, his conscience won out. It was stronger than his tired body. He just couldn't live with himself, knowing his legacy might end on that one act of refusal. He absolutely had to make it right. So what does he do? Lying in his bed, too weak to even stand, he calls for the author of the letter, Asif Ali Khan. And right there, from his bed, he starts teaching. He gives precise, step-by-step instructions, guiding Asif through the entire process. And in that moment, this stopped being about just helping one person. This was about passing the torch. And guess what? It worked. The X-ray was a success. Now, this was, in a way, the final act of Haji Shahab uddin's career. But by teaching someone else, he made sure his knowledge, his work, wouldn't just disappear. He planted a seed for the future. This is my favorite part. As Asif and the other men leave the shop, a little kid on the street sees them and yells out something amazing. He doesn't say, "Look, there go those guys." He says, "Look, Shahab uddin Uncle's machine people are going." In that one sentence, you see it. The legacy has already been passed on. It's not just one man anymore, it's an idea. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? With that one last act, driven by his conscience, Haji Shahab uddin's life's work became woven into the very fabric of his community's story. He became more than just a memory. He became a legend. A story like this really makes you stop and think. Every single town, every neighborhood has its own pillars, its own unsung heroes quietly making a difference. It makes you wonder, who are the local legends in your life? Whose stories deserve to be told?